Welcome to another Classics But Not Masterpieces episode, and this time we are featuring the groundbreaking album I Sing the Body Electric by Weather Report. Here we cover how this album could have even been greater even though it's a classic. It's 1972. I Sing the Body Electric features Joe Zawinul on electric piano, Wayne Shorter on saxophone, Miroslav VItous on bass, Eric Gravatt on drums, and Romao on percussion. The title of this album is inspired by the famous poem by Walt Whitman. I Sing the Body Electric is Weather Report's second album. It starts off with the haunting Unknown Soldier, then Shorter's The Moors, which is my favorite. Then the atmospheric improvisation Crystal. Then Zawinul's Second Sunday in August, which happens to be the strongest composition in my opinion. These 4 tracks were recorded in the studio. Then the second half of the album derives music from the concert Weather Report would play in Tokyo of 1972 that actually was a separate album. The live tracks Medley, Vertical Invader / Dr. Honoris Causa, Surukuku, and Directions would be placed on the second half of I Sing the Body Electric. For me, this is where I wondered why not finish the remainder of the album in the studio. 2 decades later, the box set of Forecast for Tomorrow was released with some unreleased material. On it appears a studio version of Directions, which should have been on the album because it was from the same sessions as the I Sing the Body Electric album. Also, what would have been nice would have been a studio version of Dr. Honoris Causa. Joe Zawinul did release a studio version of this song on his self-entitled album 2 years prior. However, if both of these pieces were recorded in the studio for the album I Sing the Body Electric, then for me, it would have been a masterpiece. Even Miles Davis would open shows with Zawinul's Directions as it signaled a new direction in jazz. Zawinul would continue to play Directions in Dr. Honoris Causa in later incarnations of Weather Report. Zawinul would even later bring back Dr. Honoris Causa decades later under the name Gypsy on his symphonic album Stories of the Danube in 1996, and the track itself is amazing. It's a great example of how jazz composers rework compositions decades later. Even though Weather Report had a successful Japanese tour in 1972 promoting this album, I would have preferred a complete studio album. Instead, we get half of it in the studio and the other half live. The live 1972 album remains by itself, and so should have I Sing the Body. As far as the music goes, Zawinul brought new colors of sound into jazz in the early 1970s with his keyboards and electric piano. Wayne Shorter continues his presence as the soprano leader in jazz fusion. For me, the catalyst in the group is the drummer Eric Gravatt, who fit perfectly for Weather Report's concept of music. VItous was also a key member of the group as he would play both electric and acoustic basses. I Sing the Body Electric remains an important classic of early fusion. This is Flame Sky. See you on the next one.